Hey, Coach. You talked about this team getting its mind right and the mindset not being where it needs to be. How have you kind of gone about trying to correct that this week?
I think we've had a really good mindset a lot. Where we hadn't been as connected as we'd like to be defensively in order to reach our potential. And then shot selection, as we've talked a lot about, has it speaks to disconnection offensively. And then the defensive glass woes, which are a little bit harder to control, right? Unless you make wholesale changes with who you're playing or how you practice. But we've just made subtle changes there. Um, Experimented with some different stuff, both with lineups and some of the things that we're doing defensively and offensively. Just continue to harp on some of those things. You change point systems, change drills, some of the things you're doing in practice, and in terms of overemphasizing shot selection, especially as you go on a road, back on the road here in the SEC.
Just a quick follow-up. You talked about the defensive rebound and pretty much acknowledged that you knew it was going to be a bit of an issue this year. Has it
Yeah,
been worse of an issue this year than you thought it was going to be? Has it been about what you really expected it to
yeah,
be?
yeah. No, it's disappointed where we are with our defensive rebounding. Absolutely. Yeah. Our numbers, um, again, speak to the fact that, we've just been pounded on the glass, and our first shot defense, a lot of games has been pretty good. And then we just can't, uh, sustain those multiple efforts, the connection that you need, having five in the fight, rebounding down, blocking out with physicality, heck, even earning over the back calls, uh, which are few and far between these days at this level. The game's gotten so physical. We're just not an overly physical team. We know that. We've played to our strengths offensively with playing a lot of four guard lineups. Um, but still, and our guys play hard. That said, we've got to play even harder. I mean, we've just got to find a way to finish stops with defensive rebounds. Um, Again, collectively, we've just got to find a way. That's it. There's just no one's feeling sorry for us. We can't get a defensive rebound. We got to get one somehow.
Thank you.
Mike, when you talk about defensive rebounding, are you looking at playing Dylan more at the five?
He's been really good at the five, but you've got Samto, you've got Justin Abson, of course. Kareem Staggs played both the four and the five for us. Cannon Catchings is a guy that potentially at some point do you play a little bit bigger? Which guard gets less minutes? If you play Cannon at the three, do you experiment with that? There's no more. If we would have known it would have been this drastic of a problem in non-conference, we probably would have had some of those mid-major opponents more times to experiment with Cannon playing some three. Um, Again, you do that. Which guard are you taking out of the rotation? So I'm not quite there yet. I, we've emphasized it a lot. Our guys have really worked in practice to their credit. We've rebounded it better as of late in these last couple weeks. It hadn't shown in games. Hopefully, it shows obviously in Baton Rouge. It needs to, for us to have a chance. But Dylan's a guy that's, he's not a 260-pound guy like one of those guys we'll be going up against in Baton Rouge, but his activity, his motor, especially on the offensive glass, was really evident the other day, getting 8 offensive rebounds. Really proud of that effort.
And as you kind of search for answers for improved play of late, are you planning to change up your starting lineup?
It's always day to day, Mark. We'll get through shoot around. We'll discuss it as a staff, but that's always on the table.
Let's go Jordan, then Olivia.
Yeah, Mike, what do you feel like you guys were able to accomplish this week, not having the midweek game and having a little bit more time to get ready for this Saturday game?
It was much needed just to have those 2 days on Monday and Tuesday to not focus on another SEC opponent, to focus on no one other than ourselves. We had a chance to watch a lot of film, and to compete a little bit longer, at a little bit higher level of intensity with less talking, less scouting, Again, less teaching about another program. And I thought our guys did a really good job again on Monday and Tuesday before a day off yesterday to regroup physically and mentally. Monday, Tuesday, really locked in, had two of our best practices. Definitely got better. You want some carryover. Those weren't SEC games, but they were two of our best practices. Again, our guys work. So had another good one today. And hopefully, we play well enough Saturday to have a chance down the stretch on the road against a team that obviously has had, some obstacles with some injuries and things like that. But they could be sitting here. A lot of respect for their program with a very similar record, to us in league. They've had their chances, had a little bit of misfortune, but they're a good team, and they run good stuff. They execute. They've got good players, and they're at home. And so another one of these great opportunities for us. So hopefully we can play well.
Looking at them offensively, what sort of stands out to you about the way they attack?
Well, the big question mark with De'Don Thomas is, whether or not he'll play. They're a little bit different with him than they are without him. Without him, they play a really, really big lineup, play a little bit differently. They were pretty set heavy at South Carolina in their win the other day and really executed at a high level, got great looks off their execution. Good screening team, good spacing team. They execute to their most efficient offensive players, but they fly around. They swarm to the basketball. They're another high level, defensive level team, like all these teams are in our league.
You mentioned not playing as connected as you'd like. How can you fix that a little bit?
Make your guys talk in practice is one thing. Putting your guys in tougher situations, physically and mentally. We were able to do that Monday and Tuesday, and even today to a certain extent. As opposed to playing on a Wednesday night, coming in Thursday, and immediately turning it over, turning the page to a new scouting report and learning about a new team. Spending 20 minutes in the film room after a flight the night before, coming back off the road, and being cognizant of your guys with study hall and lifting and classes, and not wanting to have them really running around. At least that's our philosophy here. It's a long season, and having a 3-hour practice, it's just really hard to do that and focus on your self-improvement and putting your guys in positions to do it over and over and over and over till we get it right. Until Monday and Tuesday, when we had a lot of time on our hands with no travel, with, again, no mention of another team other than us.
And then when you say that they had a good practice earlier this week, what are some of the things that you look for that constitutes that?
High intensity level, competitive spirit, high level of communication, connectivity defensively. Didn't defensive rebounded great, but a little bit better. And then offensively, really did a pretty good job early week and again today of taking the right one, for us with shot selection.